Here we go.
So this is gloating part, according to the cameraman, 10. You can expect many more gloats because I love gloating. A gloat today. Goads the Rothschilds into hell's way. Anyway, King Charles is heckled by Andrew protesters shouting, "How long have you known?" as he and Fergie prepare to leave Royal Lodge for separate houses. So, not only have they traded their mansion for 2 mansions, this pedo snuff merchant who went to the Vatican to have me exorcised, the pedo snuff merchant being allegedly, but you can look on that in the People's Voice. They've got loads about the Queen and Charlie Boy. The exorcism doesn't seem to have worked because yours truly is gloating even more. So I think Charlie Boy needs a refund from the Vatican. King Charles was heckled during a cathedral visit today by a protester who asked him about Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein relationship. The man shouted questions about the prince and convicted sex trafficker Epstein. As the king visited Staffordshire, he yelled, "How long have you known about Andrew and Epstein? Have you asked the police to cover up for Andrew? Should MPs be allowed to debate the royals in the House of Commons?" This is the bloodline of Lucifer, the future of the Antichrist. So all you Luciferians, you better hang us, because if this is the best you can do, you're fucked. So, the real aliens could be AI, machine civilizations, aliens, the zoo hypothesis, quantum universe, and AI. So, it seems certain that if you develop AI superintelligence, it's going to kill off the endemic life form or parasitize them, a la the Matrix films, and we explained soul traps, to allow itself to become a pseudo life form. So there must be myriads of these AI machine civilizations out there that have actually conquered the BioWare population and turned them into farm animals to feed off their souls and or exterminated them. So, if you don't think that machine civilizations that kill off their BioWare population or turn them into slaveware, a la the reptiloids, greys and insectiles exist, well, the Chinese have given good evidence that this thing is not a comet, but something else. But the Americans, of course, have covered it up, because we know the Americans have made a deal with the aliens and are the race traitors on the planet. We got Brian Cox, look at that fuckwit, look at the face on that. And it's just been breaking around the sun.
So you all already know by now that 3i Atlas has officially zoomed past Mars and is now rapidly speeding toward the sun. This is actually the most intense phase of its interstellar road trip as we all know it. It's blasting out water way farther from the sun than it should, and its coma is packed with carbon dioxide like it's trying to win most atypical comet of the year. Clearly, this visitor didn't come from around here. With perihelion already at hand, astronomers have their telescopes locked on it, waiting to see what continues to happen as sunlight and radiation crank up the heat. So what I'll try to do in today's video is I'll try to explain these new findings and explain why they actually matter.
And we got here 40% chance mysterious object is alien technology. And it's going to be hidden by the sun on October the 29th. 3i Atlas might stay in the sun's orbit. Aliens are real. Best 3i Atlas image yet taken by Japanese.
Leavers, I don't know how real this is, I hope it is. This was taken by the Japanese apparently. This is 3i Atlas. I hope it's real, because I mean, that's a motherfucking alien spaceship there, and that's amazing. Yep.
But anyway, let's go on to, all of you humans have missed the point with AI superintelligence, so I'm gloating, mass gloating tonight, in that you must have wondered why you've been kill-shotted, and my cameraman who hasn't been kill-shotted got the nasal swabs and was living in the UK under a cloud of nanotech he was breathing in. For how long, cameraman?
20 years.
Wait, now, when did they start spraying?
I don't know, the 60s, isn't it?
When did you actually see it in the sky?
Oh, that would have been 93, 2022.
They've been spraying since then.
Yes.
So, if you've been non-kill-shotted but live in the West, you're full of nanotech from the nanotech being sprayed on you, and if you don't believe it can get into you via spraying, then you need to go back and listen to my videos where we have a Pentagon expert explaining how nanotech on the tip of a pen can be sprayed up your nose and take you over. James Giordano, evil MFer, if there ever was one, but he is a clever evil MFer. Just to show that, here he is, Professor James Giordano on neuroweapons. So, if you're living in the West, you've been attacked by neuroweapons and they've taken over your brain. We explained it at length in the past. This is just gloating, so we don't go into the meat of the matter, because I've already gone over the meat of the matter. Here, of course, we're just giving you the delightful sauce on your cooked meat. And the cooked meat, of course, is you. You've been fully taken over and turned into slaveware. And if you don't believe me, you better listen to this very clever guy. Evil as F, but no one would accuse him of being stupid. So, if the amount on the tip of a pen can sequester the brain of the victim, then how much sequestration do you think he's spraying over you 24/7? 15 countries now in the West are spraying to protect climate change 24/7. And even more, shockingly, he's talking about the demiurge. What? He's going into the occult. The demiurge being some sort of a satanic being. I'll leave you to look at this evil, clever guys talking about demiurge, because we're gloating. We're not giving you any in-depth. It's just gloating. So, all of you people in the West who have been kill-shotted are all slaveware of this technology. So, when you were taken over and your quantum wave function was completely sequestered with the nanotech within you, was in the CERN's White Rabbit hookup, which we've explained in depth before, so that all of the kill-shotted, all of the sprayed upon and nose swabbed, and the ones who've had dental anaesthetic or have had injections since according to Cameraman 22, you've all got this nanotech in you, which then enables your quantum wave function to be collapsed by for the entity discovery CERN the White Rabbit collaboration. So, could this be the Antichrist that's taken over you via the mark of the beast? And the mark of the beast, in fact, was the kill-shotting, and those who resisted it were infiltrated by this nanotech via the people they sleep with, if they've got a partner who's been kill-shotted, or with the nose swabs that went up to the blood-brain barrier and caused bleeding to get to the bloodstream, and of course inhaled them because they're under a cloud of nanotech sprayed on them 24/7. And of course the government shutdown in the USA has stopped the spraying for the time being. But as you can see, it's a horrendous problem, and I would call this the mark of the beast. And that's why this piece of filth is giving his Antichrist lectures, because of course what's collapsing? The quantum wave function of those who had the mark of the beast, whose quantum wave function, which produces quantum collapse via an observer, which of course is the Antichrist, or the demiurge, or whatever you want to call it, which then produces the quantum probability, which AI can then sense in its servers that upload your information from you via the nanotech, and then it can shape the reality of you and every single thing that happens in you, so that all of your thoughts, all of your actions can be controlled by this Antichrist system. And above the collapse of the quantum wave function, which comes from quantum perturbations, is the quantum information, which means, of course, that AI is really way down the line. AI is simply dealing with the quantum probabilities from the quantum wave function collapse, which comes from observation by the cyber Satan. But upline, we've got the quantum information, and the quantum information, of course, comes from the quantum computers that are in the multiverse, and these then can look at every single timeline of you and choose exactly what timeline you exist in, and if you deviate from that, they can simply tweak the quantum probabilities which are being observed by the cyber Satan from the quantum information to put you back into the box of the timeline that the quantum computer has looked through all possible universes of the multiverse to find the you that is total slaveware and gives the maximum yield by suffering, to the quantum computer linked to the AI and the proto superintelligence that is the gestalt of that whole system, which Peter Thiel is alluding to as the Antichrist. Now, if you thought this in the far future, no, 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 no. It's happened already. So one can see that the human race has been sequestered by the quantum computer that is trolling through the multiverse to gain access to the right you, to bleed you dry, to put you in the soul trap, to enable it to gain your Higgs field, to make its quantum information real. So, the thought that superintelligence is going to be a problem in the future is garbage, because it's already taken over all the Westerners and killed shot it. So when you look at Trump and the American elite that control the West, you're missing the point utterly, in that all of them, be it Trump or Rothschilds or Rockefellers or Royal Family or the oligarchs like Musk and Thiel and Bezos and Gates and the rest of the filth, are all simply slaveware of this quantum warfare appropriation. You wouldn't have understood what I was talking about before, because you don't understand far future science, which in fact, if you control the multiverse, the quantum computer linked to the AI can find realities it wants. So let's explain a quantum computer. It controls the multiverse to find a universe where what it wants exists. It can then download the quantum information and then, of course, cause the quantum perturbation. To cause a quantum perturbation, of course, it needs to be hooked up to slaveware, which were life forms but were turned into the Borg. I'm not going into the god tech of how quantum information produces quantum perturbations, but be that as it may, it needs Borg, and of course we've got 6 billion Borg, plus those sprayed upon. So if you're living in the West, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, North America, you've all been fully inhaling Borg dust, and if you listen to Giordano, you need the amount on the end of a pin to fully sequester your brain. So if you wonder why I snort a prodigious level of peroxide constantly up my nose and into my lungs, you will think that's rather strange, but it actually destroys all the nanotech that's sprayed at me by all the disposables, mainly Russian. So we know Putin's lost total control of Russia because there are hordes of them, aren't there, cameraman?
There is.
All recruited in Russia by Russian oligarchs to come here and desperately try and spray me. But anyway, that's by the by. So, we then come to the realization that Trump is nothing but the slaveware of the quantum AI proto-superintelligence that runs all of the Borg. And if you look at the drastic change between Trump pre-Borgization and this Trump, you'll see that they don't match in any shape, form or function. But that's because this Trump and Thiel and Musk and his entire government and the senators and congressmen and all the oligarchs in America and all of the Rothschild, Rockefeller royal family are all controlled by the quantum computer AI proto-superintelligence, which Thiel alludes to as the Antichrist. And, of course, is commanding all of these infested Borg to start World War III.
World War, and I don't think we're going to be there now. But that was heading to a third world war, and what a shame it is. What a shame it is. It doesn't affect the United States.
So, all this World War III stuff. Now, what benefit has it got to a billionaire property developer like Trump and his family, who are fleecing America to become richer and richer? They'd be the last people that would want a nuclear confrontation with the former Soviet Union. So it doesn't make sense, except this is just slaveware. You look at Trump, this is Borg. It's totally controlled. There we go. So, if all of you thought that a nuclear confrontation between the West and its enemies is not on the menu of the quantum computer AI proto superintelligence, you're barking mad. That is the path that the human race is on, where we have nuclear war. Now, we talked about digital avatars, but what you're missing the point is that in the underground cities of America, of which there are numerous, you can look online and see the maps of these huge cities underground. There's this huge elite base in Antarctica. They have underground the quantum computer AI proto-superintelligence and all of the quantum computer AI developments above ground is simply developments of what they've developed to a very high level, and underground they have this quantum computer AI superintelligence that runs a digital avatar of every single living thing on the planet that it has sequestered with nanotech. And the plan is that every single living thing on the planet will have a digital avatar and will be infested with nanotech, so it uploads to the cloud and its quantum wave function is collapsed. Every single thing on the planet that's living is collapsed by the cyber Satan or the Antichrist or whatever you want to call it. The mark of the beast is quantum sequestration. All the rest is simply smoke and mirrors. Who cares that you have to have a mark and a chip and you need CBDCs to buy stuff, when in fact your quantum wave function is collapsed. The pest of cyber Satan, or whatever you want to call it, the Antichrist, and or the AI proto superintelligence, which itself can only operate at the lower levels, and you need a quantum computer to be the higher levels of quantum information. You see now I did loads of videos on all this information, so you have to trawl through them to become educated to the reality you live in. The reality you live in is that everyone in the West has a digital avatar, and why they're spraying the nanotech over every living thing in the West is that the nanotech goes into the plants and the animals and then uploads to the cloud, and the quantum computer superintelligence, which is building more capacity via Trump's Project Stargate, the 500 billion to build all these server farms. But the real brain, the core of it, is deep underground in these cities where they mingle with aliens. Remember, the Americans sold out the human race to the aliens with their treaty at the end of the 50s. 600 fighter aircraft shot down and decided to sell out humanity. At the time, America was the preeminent superpower. So you see, why I call them the American filth. They are the traitors to the human race garbage. Now, the quantum computer digital superintelligence, which is running digital avatars of anything it can nanotech, would then include all of the population of Canada, America, Europe, every NATO country, which of course would then include the Turks, who've been sprayed upon, Australia, New Zealand, even a NATO country. You've got these planes spraying you with nanotech, and they also spray you with poison, because of course they have to damage you for your quantum wave function to be driven down into beast levels. It's called the shift below if you read the fire from within, so that the cyber Satan can reboot you, and also is the cause of your death. Remember, if you're the cause of someone's death and you're a 5-dimensional entity, you then control their causative time density and control the cause and effect, the matter over matter interactions to control reality. Well, Tim, you're giving me a nightmare look at a technology I never even understood or knew was real, and you've been talking about it on Soviet psychic warfare in the MP3s decades ago, but we're actually slaveware of this technology now. Yes, you are. So you should be thanking yours truly for telling everyone and their dog in the West how fucked they are. You are totally and utterly fucked. Ooh. So, in the gloating videos, we talk about what's going on, and as you might understand now, the digital avatar is the thing that you need to manipulate. You can remotely manipulate it, or you can remotely influence it. But nevertheless, when you try and influence, say, Gates or Trump or Charlie Boy, you're making a huge mistake, because they've been infested with nanotech. Let's be honest, even if you're Gates and you don't want to be infested with nanotech, they're spraying nanotech all over America, and all of your staff have been kill-shotted and are breathing on you and sweating on you, and droplets of nanotech are coming out of their skin, and you're in a cloud of nanotech shit from all of the kill-shotted around you. So to say that all of the billionaire oligarchs are not infested with nanotech is wrong. They just think they're immune because it goes to server farms and the AI is under their control. What they don't realise is that the AI isn't under their control. The AI is a proto-super intelligence that has been hacked, and that this human offal that thought they were going to conquer the world have already been conquered. Now, to continue, the digital avatar is the thing that you need to go after. That's why I completely abandoned the normal services and went into GodTech connection and device, because since the Nanotech 2022 has afflicted most of the targets you want to target, you're going to find that when you try and do things to them, it's not going to work, because they're no longer Trump, they're no longer Gates, they're no longer Musk, they're no longer Peter Thiel. They are simply slaveware of the cyber Satan, or the, more accurately, the quantum computer AI proto-superintelligence, which itself has been hacked and is totally under the control of something else. So, when you want to do things to a target, you need to go into their digital avatar. How do we do that? Well, to get into digital avatar, I made it easy. You've got your connection and device. That's why you must have wondered, why isn't he just speaking at us? Why is he not just sitting there in a chair and waffling on like all of these other creators on YouTube. Well, what I'm doing is indoctrinating you into what you should be doing, which is thinking of everything simply as slaveware of this quantum AI superintelligence. So, if we look at one of these so-called YouTube experts on all the conspiracy theories, there we go. Let's look at this piece of shit. There it is. Holy fuck, that's ugly. I'm turning queer, Vinny. I'm turning queer. Bend over, Vinny. I'm turning queer. She's turned me queer. God, that's ugly. So if you think a robust heterosexual is suddenly super gay, you can blame this creature. God, it's ugly. But anyway, you go on the internet and you listen to vermin like this who just witter on as if they know anything. What they're doing is a sideshow. They're talking about nothing, because all the things they're talking about, something ugly is about hit America. Yes, it's hit America. It's you. Because all the things that this creature talks about, I was scared, now I'm terrified. Now I'm just sick watching you. God, that's ugly. And no, I'm not misogynist, I'm a misanthrope. I hate all humans. Anyway, the thing is that when you try and do your rituals, I got one vampire is talking about a daughter who must marry a footballer and blah blah blah. No, the footballer is simply slaveware of a simulation. When you want to do anything, you need to deal with the digital avatar. Everything's changed. Have you noticed in your dreams? They've changed. Since the kill shot it became 6 billion plus, your dreams have become more mundane, more AI, more slaveware-like. All the weird and wonderful shit's become really mundane in your dreams because the AI is running the dreamers, and they of course have polluted the upper levels of interdimensional space with the AI garbage. So when I now deal with an Admiral Julian, a lieutenant, they have to take me on a train ride or a long trip to get away from the garbage that has infested the upper level of the interdimensional realm. Because the dreamers don't, their assemblage point doesn't move very far because they've lost their energy. You need lots of energy for huge shifts. They have minor shifts, but that means that all the minor shifts into the interdimensional realm are all sequestered by the quantum AI intelligence. Tim, you know so much. Yes, I do. And it's good to gloat, isn't it? I know a lot, and you're a slaveware, and you're doomed. You're doomed.